Another thing I think you should do as a beginner is set a minimum. Our minimum is $2.99. It doesn't matter if we're washing your patio or cleaning out one gutter line. Our minimum pricing is $2.99, and it has to be that because my guys are paid very well.
If you got an idea, learn as much as you can about that, because there's so much information out there about anything, literally anything. You can go find somebody on YouTube has made a video about it. You can learn and then go do it. Just do it and forget about the failure. Because if you fail, who cares? If I could go back and change that, would I? Or did it make me who I am right now? And it did. I would tell myself to charge more money so that you can make more money.
I'm back. Y'all can't get rid of me. I just keep showing up. I figured if you keep showing up to the game, eventually they'll let you play, right? So Trevor Steele, I'm here. I brought my good friend Scott Ziegler. I don't know. He's got too many names. He's got a lot of things going on. If you don't know Scott, Zig, whatever, Big Newton, something. Anyway, this is my good friend Zig. Welcome to the stage.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man.
Zig,
I like Zig Newton.
Zig Newton.
I never heard that one.
So his real name is Scott Ziegler, right?
Yep, Scott Ziegler.
Yep, Scott Ziegler. But on Facebook he goes by Zig Scott, and that threw me off for like months. I didn't know what to call him, so I just called him Z.
My wife's family thought my name was Zig for a really long time.
That's fantastic.
And they still all call me, like most of the guys at work call me Zig or Z or Ziegler. Most people always called me Zig. So I don't remember why I changed it. It was a long time ago when I changed it to Zig Scott. I was trying to hide from something, I guess. But yeah, her family, like they all thought my name was Zig, and then they found out and they just keep calling me Zig still.
Yeah, my wife's family calls me by a completely different name. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but it's So tell us about yourself. Obviously, you're a firefighter by the background there.
I've been a fireman for 20 years. I've been in Detroit. I think I've been on 10 or 11 years. I can't remember what. I think 10 years was this year. And then I was in another city inside of Detroit, like a little small suburb of Detroit that's like completely surrounded by Detroit. And before that, and I was a volunteer way back when. So I started as a fireman when I was like 19. So, and I'm 40 now. So it's 21 years.
Damn.
Easy, man.
What'd you say?
21 years, man. 40. I'm 40.
Sorry. I thought, never mind.
It's all right.
I'm 39. I'm just messing with you.
You're almost there, man. I started a power washing business 5 years ago in 2020. And what I thought was like beer money or whatever. I was having a kid and I thought, I need to make a little bit extra money. Working a fireman schedule, you really got a lot of time to have a side business. I've always watched a lot of the older guys have side businesses and do really well with it. Kind of having a kid kind of like lit a little bit of a fire to go do more than just the other, I used to just do side jobs like working for the hospital or whatever as an ER tech, stuff I hated doing. My buddy, a window cleaning company in the area. And so I called him and I was like, hey man, I'm looking for some work. Do you need a guy to come help you wash windows? And he pretty much was like, I don't really need anybody. It's a one-man job, but there's a lot of business to go around. So if you want to come out, watch me do a job one day, you can just try and start your own. And so I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's, we'd be competition, but he's also a fireman. And I remember he had just mentioned recently before that, telling me about soft washing, getting into like soft washing and power washing. And I didn't even know what the hell that was or how there was a business. So I went to this job with him. I helped him out. He did the gutters, the windows, he washed the house, and he did the driveway. And then he showed me the invoice and I'm looking at it and I'm like, there was way more money involved with the other stuff than the windows. And the worst part about that job to me was doing the windows. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm just going to dive into pressure washing and I'm not even going to talk about windows, which I didn't end up doing that. I ended up selling windows as well. I just went head first. I went on YouTube and I sat, my wife will tell you, I sat in bed every night and who was the guy back then? He passed away. Team Wash Life. What was his name? Lang. Was it Lang? Super popular in the power washing community on Facebook.
I'm an OG, man. Remember, I'm 23, 24 years in. I don't know the YouTube guys. Maybe I'll be a YouTube guy. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, shit, there's probably a lot of money in it, and then I started watching Bobby Walker. Bobby Walker.
Sure.
Keith Kalfas. He's local to me.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, very local. All the YouTube, as much as I could consume about it and learned as much as I could. Spent like $800 on a power washer and a surface cleaner, put it in the back of my truck. I bought some window cleaning stuff. I did a little bit of both, but I was pushing mostly. My first job was gutters, actually. So
It's amazing to me how many people get started the same exact way. It's like the YouTube startups. It's
yeah,
especially since like 2015 seemed to be when the shift occurred. It was like all of a sudden the hacks started to go away. At least that's been my perspective. And all of a sudden there's more information. It's freely given out online. And
yeah.
so the guys that you would consider a hack, 2-3 years ago, you better watch your back.
People were coming with
They're studying and they're coming up.
And then it just like that first summer, like I couldn't believe how many people were calling me. I did my own Google AdWords for a little bit. That actually worked really well. I couldn't believe how many calls were coming in. It was gutter job came in first, and then it was like one after another. I had my Google My Business set up, and we bought a trailer after like a couple months, and it was a single axle, and then I outgrew that like right away. Like by the next spring, I was looking for a dual axle because I wanted a bigger machine and more water in there, and it just took off from there. Now we're 5 years in, and we have 5 employees and 2 trucks.
So many people make this mistake, and I fully blame the YouTube gurus for this. And you didn't make that mistake, it sounds like. Most people, they jump in head first. They go all in on this soft wash setup and this system, and they think they've got to have the best of the best. They end up blowing a ridiculous amount of money on a setup that is going to fall apart within a couple of years anyway. And if you don't have the business to support that, it's completely unnecessary. So if you're new to the industry and you're watching this, go to Home Depot, buy a DeWalt pressure washer, and just get your butt to work. Don't overthink it. Work out of the back of your pickup truck. I promise you, the phone will ring if you do the marketing and the branding correctly, and you can put that money you make towards the new stuff when you need it, not before.
The only thing that I would tell people to do, like the big, if you want to call them the big boys, I don't consider myself that at this point, but if you're gonna start off small, but price as if you're a big company.
Yes.
Because that's the mistake that I made when I started. And that's what I tell everybody. I got a TikTok channel with 30,000 followers, and I talk a lot about business, and I'll make posts about it, with how to wash a house or whatever. And I get every time I post a video, I get all these messages from guys, and mostly are firemen, because most people follow me because I'm a fireman, and they'll ask me how do I start? How do I get my business going? I can't answer the amount of people that send me messages. I can't get to them. Try to talk to as many people as I can, but that's the one thing I always tell everybody is don't do what I did. My number one mistake that I did when I started was I was priced so ridiculously low, even for the time. 5 years ago, prices were different, but even for the time, my prices were way too low.
Here's the truth that people that are established and been doing this for a long time don't want the new guys to know. You can do just as good of a job washing a house with $1,000 pressure washer out of the back of a truck as you can with a $60,000 setup.
100%.
The only true difference is the efficiency. You cannot scale with that.
Nope.
So there's no reason that the price should be different. Just do the job, take pride in what you do, obviously, and charge accordingly.
My quality of work is no different now than it was when I started. Maybe a little bit, maybe I'm a little bit better, but the quality of work that we provide is exactly the same. The only thing different is that we have way more efficiency. We have our one truck, our main truck has 2 machines in it, and I send 2 guys out on every job. They can wash a house, and like, it's stupid how fast they wash houses now. Like, to the point where they were coming back to the shop, my house, at like noon. And I'm like,
I love it.
I'm like, what are you guys doing back so early? They're like, we're done. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to get callbacks from all of them. And nobody, I mean, they do get callbacks every now and then, but yeah. And I think yesterday I was on an EMS run. I was at the firehouse yesterday, and we go to the medical runs, the emergencies, with an ambulance. And we got there first, and the ambulance showed up, and Detroit's a big fire department. I don't know everybody on the department by any means.
Wow.
Well, the guy that got off the rig was like, man, that's my hero. And I'm like, me? And he's like, yeah, dude, I follow you on TikTok. He's like, you got me. I want to start a business. And he's like, I got some ideas and everything. And I'm like, I tell everybody, I'm like, if you got an idea, learn as much as you can about that, because there's so much information out there about anything, literally anything. You can go find somebody on YouTube has made a video about it. You can learn and then go do it. Just do it and forget about the failure. Because if you fail, who cares? Oh, well. But like you were saying, don't jump into it. You don't have to jump into it and spend $100 grand to get something started. My philosophy is, and it was with this business, and it is with the business that I'm starting right now, you start out with what you can afford. Don't go into debt for it. and build off of it. It was a Simpson power washer with DeWalt surface cleaner, or a rigid surface cleaner, like maybe $50 in window cleaning stuff, a bucket, a squeegee, and a mop, and a ladder. It was an A-frame ladder, one of those gorilla ladders, because it had to fit in the bed of my pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived in a townhouse, so I chained it all together in the back of my truck every night so that nobody stole it. And I made money, and then I took that money and I bought a water-fed pull system, a Tucker cart. That was my next upgrade. And then from there, like, we got a little bit more money. I bought a cap for the back of my truck so that it was covered, and then I could lock it. Now I got it a couple months later. I'm like, this sucks having to take everything in and out of my truck when I want to use it for personal use. Bought a trailer. Everything I bought was with the business money, and we never went into debt for any of it. We never had to tap into our own money. We just grew as I scaled it. And I think a lot of people, like you said, they think they got to jump in and go out and buy all this crazy shit, and you don't. I even bid a job on a church. You can look it up. It's the world's largest Chaldean Catholic church, and it looks like the Taj Mahal. It's huge. And first year they called me. They're like, "Can you clean this building?" And I'm like, I went there and looked at it. I thought it was gonna be a little church. I pulled up and I'm like, what the heck? No idea. Did not have the capabilities to do it. I bid it way too low. I think I charged them like $4,000. They took it, and I'm like, okay. Now I had to figure out, I needed a 12-volt system because I needed to be able to put a hot mix on this building and put Amazon stuff. And I found a YouTube video on how to build one for like $250. Built it, rented a lift. I had this soft wash system in the lift with me, and like I washed this whole building. It took me 5 days to wash it. 2 years later, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to change the subject, but go ahead.
2 years later, I went back to the building again. It needed to be cleaned again in 2 years. And there was more stuff that they wanted cleaned originally, but didn't do the first time. I charged them $10,000, and we got it done in 2 days with 5 guys, 2 trucks.
That's awesome. I had a story like that. You know, I don't know how much of my story you know, but I've failed so many times in this business and this industry that it's kind of set me up for who I am today. But during one of those epic failures, I landed a 17-unit complex out of state for washing the buildings and the roofs. And I'd never done a roof in my life. I was like, you know what? I'm going broke. I'm taking that job. I don't care. I'm gonna figure it out. I ended up walking all of those roofs. Luckily, the pitch was not a big deal, but it was, they were 5-story buildings. I walked every roof with a pump up sprayer.
Dude, no way.
And I got that job done, buddy.
How long did it take?
A week.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that story because my friend told me not to do it. I called him and I'm like, hey, would you want to try to help me with this? And he was like, no. He goes, you're not capable of doing that. I'm like, I'm doing it.
The truth is the consumer doesn't know any better. So here's my advice, right? Focus on the brand. Before you buy anything, focus on the brand, build a really good website, start your Google My Business page, get your friends and family to help you with some reviews, get some momentum, create your social media pages, and go on Nextdoor. That's it. Just do those things and then go to Home Depot after you get your first job. Don't even wait.
You can rent a machine.
Yeah. Borrow one. Go knock on your dad's door and say, Dad, I really need to use the Ryobi.
Like you said, nobody needs to know anything about it. If you got the right branding and you can make the person feel good about what you're providing them, like that's what it's all about. Like, and you got to kind of think about it. You might be a stranger to sales, but you're not a stranger to buying. So think about how you buy and how you like to buy and what type of person would be able to sell you something, and be that person. That's the way you need to go talk to people. Make them feel comfortable. Right now, we're at the point now where springtime, I hustle. I'm out washing, and now it's slow. July slows down all the time. I just have my crew go out and do it, which is freeing me up to do more in-person sales, which I like doing. We use Responsibid for the most part, but now that I'm more free, I can go do other things. We're also starting up another business, so I'm putting a little bit of my energy into that too. But you can scale it to that. It's still a part-time. Like for me, I'm a full-time fireman still in Detroit. I still have that job. So this still is like, I don't like calling it my side gig because it's not. It's a fully fledged business. Yeah. I got guys on payroll. We got workers' comp. We got commercial insurance, all that stuff. But anybody can do this if you put your mind to it. And if you have, like, I love seeing young guys talk about a business idea, and I'm just like, dude, go and let me see you do it. There's like 4 or 5 other Detroit firemen that have started businesses power washing. One of them, I didn't have anything to do with it. He's actually really local to me. We're competitors. Greg, he's a great guy. My buddy Nico, he's way out on the west side of Detroit. He sat down with a notepad one day at the firehouse. He's like, tell me everything I need to know. What do I need to go buy? Blah, blah, blah. And then he did it. That was it. He just did it. And he now has he just had a baby. He just sent me a picture of like a giant mansion that he washed, and like he's making good money. It's nice to see that. Like I love helping people. I don't consider myself a guru of business owning because I have not scaled a business to even $500,000. We're like halfway there. But I feel like I'm super confident in my ability to sit down with a person and tell you how to start it.
Yeah.
And then just give you that like peace of mind of like, this worked for me. This worked for everybody else that I know. Go and do it with ease and not think about it failing, because it'll work if you do these things.
You know, the pressure washing industry is such a unique industry in that the barrier to entry is extremely low. And like you said, to get to $200,000 to $300,000 a year as an owner operator is very doable.
Yeah,
honestly, if your market's right, you can do it in a year to 2 years.
Easily.
But I want to be extremely clear. I don't know what happened.
I lost you for a second. The last thing I heard you say was, I want to be extremely clear.
Yeah, well, I want to be extremely clear. Silence.
Clear as mud.
Yeah. Clear as mud.
Clear as a frozen Wi-Fi signal.
Looks like we're still live, so I'll keep going. I was going to say, scaling a pressure washing company, on the other hand, is extremely difficult. There are so many reasons for that. Number one, the barrier to entry people, the low barrier to entry, they're charging a third, right? Yep. And most of them have no idea what they're doing. Most of them, we use the word hacks. That's a fact. They destroy property. They don't have insurance. They just don't know what they're doing. Yeah, chucking a truck. And so that's also part of the problem. That's why I say you need to focus on your brand, right? Because part of the problem is when you tell somebody that you own a pressure washing company, there's a stigma, right? I know you felt that before. Oh, you're like, oh, okay, you're a pressure washer. You still
like, look at me sideways like, how is that a business?
Yeah. Or they'll say, hey, are you still doing that little pressure washing thing? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that little scaled pressure washing thing that's going to make me a millionaire. Yeah, I'm still doing it. You know, but we get those calls. We get those calls at least 2 or 3 times a week, or a text or a message on Facebook that says, hey, are you still doing that? Like, yeah. You couldn't look it up before texting me that, you arrogant little.
Yeah. And like you're saying, like it's easy to get into. It's easy to, you can do, like we did half of last year's revenue in April and May this year. Like we rocked and rolled. We had both trucks running every day, and not even every day. Like the amount of money that we generated in 2 months with weekdays that my truck sat in my driveway, because we're all firemen and they all work on the same shift as me. So all my employees, if I'm at the firehouse, the business isn't making money because they are too. Which I'm trying to change that. I'm actually switching shifts right now to do a guy a favor. So that's going to make that a little bit better. Just the fact that we were able to generate that amount of money in that amount of time with days that were literally not making money during the week, it would blow your mind if you looked at the numbers. And then, like you said, you can do that, but scaling it, and that didn't come with like no work like that. I grind, like I start making phone calls in February, getting people on the schedule. I call every single person in my phone list every spring, talk to them about getting back on the schedule for this year. And, door knocking, walking around, passing out flyers, hanging up signs on street corners, money that goes into the ads, all that. When you want to start scaling it, it becomes a big deal. And that's why I kind of like urge the guys that are just trying to get into it to make like a little bit of money. I'm like, still, even if you're because I always get that. Well, my goal isn't to have employees and trucks. I just want to do it by myself. That's fine. I'm not telling you that that's not okay. But what I'm telling you is that you can still charge the same price that I'm charging and make more money for yourself. You'll probably make more money than I am because you're not spending it on payroll or taxes.
This is what you need to tell them. You say, well, wouldn't you like the option?
Yeah.
They say, I don't want to scale. Okay, well, wouldn't you at least like to have the option? So maybe you should start with a professional brand and a professional pricing, because I can tell you this, I've heard it 1,000 times. If you go back to that same client the next year and you have a $60,000 setup with a wrapped vehicle and all of a sudden your prices go up 60%, they're not accepting that.
Chances are they're not. I had a customer last year. She called me up. She's like, hey, you did our house in 2020. We'd like to have you come out again. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, listen.
Yeah.
I said right off the bat, I'm like, I'll give you a quote. I promise you that it's not going to be the same as it was when I did it in 2020. I said, I don't know what it was because I didn't have anything to keep track of it except for a notepad back then. I'm like, I'm positive it's going to be a lot more. I sent her my quote. It was for like $480. She responded with my original emailed quote from back then. Dude, I did her house and windows and garage for $150. And I was like, no way, dude. And she goes, this was what you charged us 4 years ago. She goes, I'm glad to see that you're still in business. When can I get this next cleaning scheduled? And I was like, all right, cool. Most people aren't going to do that though. Most people are probably gonna be like, I'm going to call the next guy.
Well, it's a hard conversation you don't want to have. It's just not worth it. And your time is more valuable. Another thing I think you should do as a beginner is set a minimum. Our minimum is $299. It doesn't matter if we're washing your patio or cleaning out one gutter line. Our minimum pricing is $299, and it has to be that because my guys are paid very well. They are taken care of, and it's important to me that we build a sustainable brand to give these guys a real career shot. And you cannot do that. And why is pressure washing the only industry that doesn't professionalize our process? You know,
I
things
agree.
are changing rapidly.
I would like to see, that's something that I hope to see change in. We got a local guy that, you know, the Facebook groups, people are like, I need someone to wash my house. So everybody puts their stuff. Every time I'll beat anybody's price, guaranteed, send me their quote. Dude, I looked at his website and his Facebook. This guy's got a turbo nozzle on a roof.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, oh my God. And like every video that I see of him, I'm like, dude, please, I hope and I would never do this. I actually reached out to him and like tried to talk to him. I'm like, you know, like for one, like you're fucking people's shit up. And two, like your prices are like, that's not how you do business, man. Like do what you want, but here's what we're charging and everybody else is too. I actually did it a subtle way. We have a group for like Southeast Michigan and he's in it. And I just posted a picture of a house and I was like, I want to know what everybody in here would charge to wash this house and clean the windows. It's this many square feet. It's vinyl sided. This is the house. I just want to see what they're at because he had quoted this exact house. So I wanted him to see it because I knew what his quote was. I didn't say his name. I didn't say anything about him blowballing my price, nothing. Everybody in there was either where I was at or even higher than me. Like I actually felt like my price was too low after seeing like 50 comments on this. A bunch of the comments in there were like, they knew what this was about and they knew it was about him specifically. Yeah. So I hope he saw it and I hope not even for the fact that you're undercutting me. I don't care. That's not my customer. I'm going to find the customer that wants to pay for a quality job. For yourself, like you're out there busting your ass, working hard, making nothing. If you're washing a house for $100, at the end of the day, that's not going to be sustainable for you or anything. Something breaks or something, you break somebody's anything. How are you going to afford to pay that, fix that, stuff like that? But that's my number one bugaboo is the pricing. I hate how, man, it's like crazy how low people will price these jobs.
Dude, I've been doing so many live podcasts and
I love that you got it back going. I'm glad because when we left the fishing trip and I was like, why does this guy have his you weren't doing nothing. So I like seeing that it's back.
It's a lot. You don't realize it. And when you try to do a professional interview, like with people that matter, like the guy I just interviewed, what an awesome dude. You got to check that podcast out. This guy is unbelievable.
I'll listen to them all.
Leave me a review when you get a chance.
I will. Yeah. I thought I did.
You might have. Yeah, you might have. So you have to watch several podcasts before it'll allow you to leave a review. That's why I said that.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that.
But anyway, this guy's got 70 plus locations, multi-million-dollar locations all across the country, and he does window tinting, and he's just a stone cold killer, you know? And so when you interview somebody like that, you have to do your research. You have to watch all of his live podcasts, and not all of them, obviously, but you got to know your interviewer, your interview before you have them on, or you're going to bomb. And so it just takes a lot of effort.
We try, so we have that Time's Up Outdoors, and we still do stuff with it. We podcast during deer season, but when we started it, we did a podcast or two every month. And now like I made a joke today in our group chat. I'm like, hey, maybe we can do a podcast coming up. And my buddy texted back. He goes, it's good to have dreams.
Yeah. So speaking of, I mean, that's a good segue into the fact that pressure washing is like the perfect industry for you because it's the seasonality of it frees you up. You're an outdoorsman. You love to hunt, love to fish. So you can I mean, you can scale. I use that word lightly because it's, you're not trying to expand too rapidly, but
Yep, I'm not
you
trying to
could
get big.
you could scale to a decent side salary on top of your current. I mean, it's like the perfect industry for somebody like you.
It is. Last year, my goal was to not do gutters because I like to deer hunt during gutter season, but I wanted my company to do gutters. And my employees want work. So they did the gutters. And that was the first year that I did one gutter job last year because it's my uncle and he likes when I come out there. It was the first year that I didn't get on the roofs to do gutters. And that was a goal of mine, is to I would like to scale it to the point where I'm not always having to wash. I still like washing. I still like going out and washing. So I don't mind to do it. It was fun. This spring was fun, getting through all them jobs early spring. That was cool. But hunting, I want to be able to hunt. So gutter season, the year before that, I almost was not answering my phone as much because I didn't want more jobs, because I'm like, I want to go deer hunting, but this is interfering with it. So I scaled to the point of having enough employees that want the work and will go out and do the gutters. They don't hunt. So I made that part of when I hire. I'm not hiring hunters.
Yeah, that's funny. First question interview in the interview.
No, perfect. You're in.
Do you have a driver's license? Do you hunt?
I'm big time into the outdoors, and a couple other firemen of mine with me have a podcast and a little TV show that it's on Carbon TV. Been filming for probably, I don't know how many years it's been now. It's been quite a while. We got 3 seasons on there, I think. And then we're starting to put all our stuff back on YouTube now because Carbon TV is kind of not doing what it used to do.
Tell us the name.
Time's Up Outdoors. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. We're most active on Instagram, and then obviously YouTube. I'm working on getting all of our stuff from Carbon TV onto YouTube, but for a while we didn't put anything on YouTube. It's all on Carbon TV. So all of our actual real episodes are on Carbon TV. There's a handful on YouTube now, but there's a ton of videos on YouTube from before Carbon TV. So we're working on getting all that. It's fun. We do it for fun. We make a little bit of money doing it. I think Tethered paid us $3 or $4 grand one year. They give us all kinds of free stuff. Yep, there we are. Times of Outdoors. Yeah, we interviewed John Eberhard. Do you know who Johnny Eberhard is?
I see that deer, but no.
He's a big Michigan. He's got a couple books and real popular. That's one of our most viewed videos.
It was 16 minutes ago.
I've had to poop for at least 30 miles because every single exit in Ohio,
half a mile, bud.
It sucks. It's all
This is
new.
great.
It's so bad.
Yeah, this is what it is right here.
Dude, that's great.
It's 4 firemen. We're we're firemen. So we're always goofing off. We're always messing with each other, and we film our hunts and fishing. And I mean, we got videos of a lot of our kids' stuff. There's a video. We won an award for one of our bow fishing videos. I got my stepson in the boat with us, and he wouldn't pick up the fish. And we're screaming at him to pick this fish up, and we're calling him all kinds of names. And Carbon TV gave us an award for that year for funniest fishing moment or something like that. The video is hilarious, and there's Bush light cans in the bottom of the boat. I'm I can't believe they even let us win an award for this scene. That's our show. It's just we're goofy, and the show is pretty PG. Our podcast is a little bit. There's probably too many F-bombs dropped on it. It's kind of like a deer camp podcast, conversation style.
Yeah, but you know what? The reason you won that award, I can tell you what it is. It's the same reason I'm always picking on you every time I see you. You're just a fun, likable guy. I can't help myself. I gotta rip you apart a little bit. I just smile every time. I hear the name Zig, I start smiling. You're just a fun dude, man.
Yeah. Are you coming to the Kentucky?
That's the plan. I'm still planning on it. I gotta join the old saddle club. I can't show up with a.
Let me know before you order. Give me what you want.
I'm not ordering one. I'm sending you my address. I told you that. Why are you laughing? That was part of the deal.
Yeah. I'm going to try to make it down there. I probably won't, not for the whole week, but at least.
Well, good. Days. You can bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shave on shipping.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That should be fun, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm probably going to pick up Joe Deveneaux on the way out, and we're going to drive.
Oh, cool. I've always wanted to meet that guy.
Oh, really? You don't know Joe?
Never met him. I just shoot comments and stuff.
Joe's solid, man. You're gonna love Joe.
Seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, me, JC, and Joe went camping and hog hunting. It was just
oh, no kidding.
It was a crap show, but we had a lot of fun, man. He's a good dude.
That's something I want to do.
All right, dude. I think I'm gonna jump out of here. I'm getting a whole bunch of messages. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
What do you tell your 2020 self to do differently?
Honestly, I wouldn't change anything other than my prices. I'm the kind of guy that I really wouldn't, no matter what I've done in life, I don't regret anything, even the failures. And when I look back on the failures, I tell myself, like, if I could go back and change that, would I, or did it make me who I am right now? And it did. I would tell myself to charge more money so that you can make more money.
See you, brother.
Later.